I live in Connecticut, and anytime I dare to mention that it's hot out in the summer, I am guaranteed to get messages from people in like Arizona and New Mexico, and they're like, it's not really that hot there, it's 115 here today. And if I say anything about it being cold in the winter, there will be people in like North Dakota messaging me, and they'll be like, negative 30 here today. And I feel like I get that same sort of like people in both camps when I mention that my home is a smaller home, because I live in 1,100 square feet with 2 small children, and my husband and I both work from home full time. And some people will be like, how do you do that? Where do you fit everything? And then other people message me and be like, that's not really a big deal. I live in 900 square feet with 3 children. Honestly, I think one of the most important lessons I have learned in adulthood is that everything is about perspective. At the end of the day, all you can compare things to is your own like experiences in life, like your own perspective that you have had. And that has helped me so much in just dealing with people on a day-to-day basis and understanding, like, if somebody's complaining about something that to me seems really stupid, I have to understand that it's all based on their perspective. Like, what maybe seems annoying to me as something to complain about isn't an annoying thing for that person to complain about. Anyways, I'm going on a huge tangent just to mention that I'm talking about a video for smaller houses, but there you go. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some awesome home hacks for smaller homes, but it doesn't have to just be for smaller homes. These are space-saving hacks and ideas, and I'm gonna share them with you right now. Alright, we're diving right in. I have to shout out Shay Whitney because I found this product on her channel, but this product is called the Extendy Hook. Because our home is smaller, we don't have a mudroom, we don't have like a coat closet, so I had to create a little makeshift like mudroom coat closet for my children in the sort of like built-in cabinets in their playroom. And so this product, the Extendy Hook, is perfect because essentially what happens is when it's normally hanging, it's just like a regular hook, but when you need some extra storage, you can lift it up and pull it down to get a longer hook. And that will even extend even further. So for me in this space, it's gonna work great for hanging things after we go out and play in the snow. But I think this would be amazing in like a closet or a laundry room as well. Speaking of like wall hooks and not having a coat closet or a mud room, we also don't have an entryway. This is actually our front door. You can see it comes directly into our living room. And one thing that I always noticed was sort of an issue is whenever we have guests, they would come in, they would have jackets and purses with nowhere to put them. And I was always just like, throw them on the sofa. And it was a little awkward. And finally, it just sort of like cued me in. I just hung some simple wall hooks on the wall behind the door. This seems like such a duh thing to do, but literally we lived here for 2.5 years before I thought to do this. And Amazon is actually one of my favorite places to get. They have really cool modern hooks. We have these wooden ones that I got. We also have these ones upstairs that we use for my husband's hats. I just think they have like really pretty hooks. So when you're not using them, when you don't have guests on a day-to-day basis, they look really pretty on the wall. But now you've sort of created an entryway where there isn't one. Next product I've shared before, but is these QR labels, and I think these could be really great for small homes. When you live in a smaller home, you have to be really smart about rotating your stuff a little bit more because you just don't have as much storage space in your living space. The point is you end up with a lot of stuff in storage. I use the big, huge like plastic storage bins to store a ton of stuff. These QR codes, what they allow you to do is when you fill up your bins, you take pictures of the stuff that you're creating, or you can even just write down notes of what you're putting into that bin, and then you scan the QR code and it'll create an inventory of everything that is in that bin. So that way, when it's time to find something, fall comes around, winter comes around, you're like, oh man, I need to go get out my winter boots. Like, where exactly are they? You can actually use the app to search for items, or you can scan the codes to see what's in that bin instead of having to dig through all of the stuff. I think this is a really smart solution for smaller spaces. Another product I've shared before, but amazing for small spaces, is this back of the door laundry basket. I discovered this a few months ago, and I think that it is so brilliant. We keep it in our kitchen because the kitchen is one of those surprising places you don't think of needing laundry, but you actually do, because like I use dish towels, I use bar towels for a lot of our cleaning, so I don't have to use as many paper towels, and I have small children that are typically like spilling food on themselves all of the time. I love this back of the door one, and it doesn't take up any extra space. It's up off the floor. It has these little hooks. It comes right off. There's a zipper on the bottom, so it's really easy to empty it into my laundry. I imagine that these would be really great if you were in a dorm, and they would also work really great in kids' rooms. A product that I love if you have a very small, like slim amount of space, is these really thin, like pull-out carts. I used one of these before we renovated our kitchen. We had this like awkward space between the oven and the fridge that was totally unused space. So I got this slim little pull-out guy and was able to use it to store all of our spices. When you have a small home, every little bit of space is worth it. I also used one in our old bathroom. These can be great in small bathrooms when you don't have any place to store like your basic bathroom needs. Sometimes they can slide in next to showers, next to toilets, or even just sides of vanities. All right, next up is this little like clip-on bedside table. In our current bedroom that we have right now, I actually have a dresser next to our bed because it's a smaller space and it's also my husband's office. So I can't have this like cute bed with two little matching side tables. As cute as that is, it's not practical. I need a dresser to store my clothes. But the problem is when you have a dresser and I'm like in bed, I don't have anywhere to like put my cell phone or a glass of water. And so I saw this clip-on bedside table and thought that it was so smart, and I absolutely love it. It just clips onto your bed frame and it's right at like the level that you would need it to be at. It has a spot for my water, it has spots for me to charge my phone, and it's just a really great solution if you want a bedside table but you don't necessarily have room for it. All right, I have a couple of clothing related things. First is a collapsible laundry basket. I've heard people talk about these for a long time, but I finally got one and I finally understand what like all the hype is about with these collapsible laundry baskets. And so I love this because I keep it folded flat on top of our dryer, and then when I need to bring something upstairs, I can just like pop it out, fill it up, bring it upstairs. You can slide it under beds, under sofas, or just keep them stacked in the laundry room. These are a really, really great space saver. And while we're talking clothing, I love these space-saving hangers. This is essentially like two hooks and it will hang on like a rod in your closet or whatever. You then can hang hangers on it like you would, you know, like anything, put your hangers across. And then when you need to save some space, you just unclip like the front hook and it will lay everything now flat, like vertically. So this way you can hang way more stuff in a small closet. You can easily like pull it up when you wanna look and see what's on that one, and then release it down when you don't need as much. A space-saving furniture item that I love that we use in our living room is nesting side tables. We have these acrylic ones. There's tons of great options that you can get, but essentially a side tables nest, so they only take up the space of one. But whenever we have company over or my son's having a little snack, I can always pull it out and now we have two tables. So this allows me to have two side tables without taking up the space of two side tables. A product that I love for maximizing space in cupboards and closets is these under the shelf bins. They essentially slide onto any shelf in a cabinet and then give you a little basket of space that you can use under it. This is especially great if you're living in like a rental or you're living with a home that just doesn't have like great shelf space inside of a pantry or like a closet or whatever. Again, before we were able to renovate this kitchen and make it how we wanted, I had to work with like what was in the space, right? That's what you do. And so I used these under the shelf little baskets in a couple of different places in the kitchen just to maximize space and have more room for storing stuff. Another product that I used in the old kitchen when I was trying to maximize not very efficient space in there was these sort of like, I think they called them over the cabinet door bins. You could either hang them over the cabinet doors or you could actually like screw them in, which is what I did. And it provides additional use of like the back of your cabinet door. So you could use it to store cutting boards. You could use it to store the tops of your pots and pans. You could fill it up with your oven mitts or whatever. It essentially just makes use of that little bit of space that's not always like used, like on the back of cabinet doors. All right, my friends, that does it. That was some of my favorite small home hacks using stuff from Amazon and all Amazon stuff, a lot of Amazon stuff. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and to others, and I will see you all in my next video.